Good morning, and welcome to the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. I give this welcome to everyone in the sanctuary and those watching on YouTube. Welcome. This is a spiritual community that believes that God is in everyone, and therefore everyone is welcome to this center. Now, we also like to give a special thanks to anyone who is here for the very first time. Is there anyone in the audience here for the very first time? Because our numbers have been growing lately. Okay, I don't see anyone raising their hands, but we also welcome those people too. And if you're here for the first time and you just didn't want to raise your hand, you can get a nice little gift packet. It's a green packet from the ushers. So I'd like you now to stand because Reverend Mary is going to be singing the Congregational Song. You guys are doing the Congregational Song. Okay. Billy and Andrea.
Where's Reverend Mary? Hey. Good morning. We're going to do God is My Source. Are you ready?
All right.
Andy, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Lyrics should be in your program. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything. Peace, yeah. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything God is my source. What? Can't hear it. God gives me everything I need. Yeah. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Big finish. God gives me everything I need. Woo!
They like that.
Well, thank you for that, Andrea. I think God is my source. That is like an opening prayer. But I'd like you to join me in consciousness as I move away from today's busyment and into this calming sanctuary of peace, love, and harmony. I'm inspired by the words of Ernest Holmes, founder of Science of Mind. I take a deep, conscious, connected breath as I go within, recognizing and knowing that there is only one power, one creator, one energy, one God that is my source. I know that God is in me, through me, and as me. I am one with that power, that presence, and I know that I am part of all creation. This is my statement of truth. I know that the law of God surrounds me with love and friendship. I permit this love and friendship to flow out to all things, to all people, everywhere. Let it radiate in my environment. I bless everything I touch. Make whole that which is weak. Turn fear into faith. And accomplish the miracle of healing through love. Peace, poise, and power belong to my kingdom. I give joy and love to all, knowing that the gift of life is not to me alone. I welcome the opportunity to love fully, completely, and joyfully. I share my good. I believe in myself because I believe in my God. I accept life fully, completely, without reservation, in the eternal reality that God is the everlasting presence and that my life is complete today. I give thanks for my spark of life, my consciousness and awareness. I'm grateful for the opportunity to open my mind, listen to today's message, and unfold my spirituality. This is the truth of my word. I release it unto the law, the infinite creative medium, the law, as I say, and so it is. Reverend Catherine.
Thank you, Mark, for that wonderful opening prayer. And now we're going to share some ideas about things that are going on this week. We're so glad that everyone is here and so glad that everyone is joining us on our YouTube channel. It really is a delight to be able to offer our services in many ways. But for now, we are going to be talking about today and this week. Our speaker today is Reverend Mary Morgan, who will be out shortly. And in the hospitality area, which we're definitely having, we're going to have birthday cakes. So join us next door and have some of my birthday cakes. So I'm very happy. Now, what's going on this week, and it's beginning this week, Rainbow Services is a group that we have supported for decades. Maureen McKinney is the one that spearheaded this ages ago and will be out in the foyer to talk about it. We're just now beginning, but you know, in this area, school starts in August, so they are always in need of the things that we give them and appreciate them very much. So be considering that as you decide and pass by all of those school supply sales and how you share with them. What's also coming up this week is some of the regular things that we're having on Tuesdays. Reverend Kathy's book reading is still happening on Tuesdays. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning. It meets out in the foyer. And the book is Your Aladdin's Lamp. And they are having a wonderful time in this discussion. You're invited to join, even if you've never been before. It really is an enriching part of our church offerings. And then the same day, this Tuesday, we are offering at 11 o'clock next door at Richelieu Hall a wonderful yoga class, which is recommended for your physical, spiritual development. Then on the next day, Wednesday, we have another book reading that is only on Zoom. It is The Art of Life, Ernest Holmes' book. And it is at 9:45 on Wednesday. You need a link to get to that, and you can get one online. You can connect with the office if you would like to join that class as well and have it already. And then at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, right here in the sanctuary, we have our Wednesday morning service. And our speaker this Wednesday is Mark Ruth. And so those of you who love the daily, the midweek spiritual pick-me-up, join us for that on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we have our monthly spiritual discussion, because here we are into August. It's the first Thursday in August. It's at 2 p.m. in the foyer, spiritual discussion. Mark Ruth and Monica Ruth organized this discussion. It's a lively discussion, and you are welcome to join. So that's at 2 p.m., and it goes until 3:30. Next Sunday, August the 7th, our speaker is Reverend Catherine McKinney. That would be me. So that's next Sunday. Now, what it means to be a member of Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living is the topic for our discovery class, which is next Sunday afternoon. It's at 12:30, and it's here in the sanctuary. Those of you who are considering becoming members or just want to know more about what does it mean to be a member are invited to join us. It's at 12:30, and we will tell you all you need to know about that. We're inviting our listeners at home to join us for that. We are going to live stream that membership meeting as well. So it's just great information about what this center stands for and what we do and how we are. And so we invite everyone to do that. We also have a flower dedication today. Oh, they're beautiful. They have these lovely irises in them, one of my favorite flowers. These flowers are today presented in loving memory of Elizabeth Godima. She is missed by her family, especially those who are members of our church, including Maria Padron, who's the mother of Elizabeth, and Adriana Padron, who is the daughter of Elizabeth. So we are with them in their sadness and with them in this situation that they're finding themselves in. And if you want more information, there's a poster out front to check about that. And so now, as we thank you for all that you're doing for us by being here, by your support, we are welcoming and celebrating in song as Andrea steps up to the microphone. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Reverend Catherine. Yeah. There's a vibe in the air, and it feels like love. People shuffling their feet, and they're praying too. And there's a white light shining on the road ahead. There's a lot of people saying heaven is at hand. A lot of people praying in this promised land. Ancient wisdom is right. Heaven is at hand. Keep on praying in the free world. Meditation in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. Meditation in the free world. Yeah, yeah. Hey. I see a woman in the night with an angel by her side, under an old street light, near a garbage can. And there's a force in her life, and it keeps her mind clear. A source she relies on, one power, one God. She does her meditation every day, every night. There's a lot of people saying heaven is at hand. Keep on praying in the free world. Meditation in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. Meditation in the free world. Yeah, yeah. Bring it down now. All right. We got 1,000 points of light for the homeless man. We got a kinder, gentler community. We've got green gas, electric cars, organic food, a fire attention to. A woman other people says, yes we can, yes we will, yes we are. We are praying in the free world. Meditation in the free world. Keep on rocking it. Keep on rocking in the free world. Keep on rocking in the free world. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. Well done. Good job.
Andrea and Billy are friends back again. Okay. Okay, so hey. Well, good morning, all of you. Good morning. This month, we've been looking at relationships. And today, Reverend Mary is speaking, and she will be speaking about I'm a believer. So let's just put those two things together. And what do we believe about our relationships? Science of mind teaches us that our relationships are actually based on our relationship with Spirit. Because all we see is, in fact, a part of God. We are relating to God at all times in our relationships with others and in the greater world as well. Ernest Holmes says on page 240 of the Science of Mind text, you are a spiritual broadcasting station. There is a silent force flowing out from you at all times, and it can influence the environment and other people around you. So thoughts of negativity and criticism come back to us, and likewise those of optimism and success bring on a happy expectancy, he says, that is felt by all around. Holmes quotes Jesus as saying, you must be born of the Spirit. And this refers to a new way of thinking, a sense of a relationship to our environment, to people around us, to ourselves, and to God. He says that for us to be happy, we must be with and enjoy others without attempting to dominate them. Their opinions can be right for them even though they don't fit with our scheme of things. Wow. This is what Jesus called non-resistance. So lately I've been reading Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, which I love, and it's full of ideas for doing what we call practicing the presence. Regarding relationships, he notes that the real you is the animating presence within you, and that by becoming aware of that and feeling that within your body, we can watch our interactions and detach from ego, giving our relationships room to flourish instead. Ego needs problems and conflict to strengthen that sense of separateness that its identity depends on, basically to keep itself a victim. We instead can be the knower, the observer, watching emotions arise and giving them space to be accepted, and that will transmute pain. He suggests that when we find ourselves in an argumentative situation, to watch instead, to become aware of ego's need to be right, and offer non-resistance instead, and then see the discussion become real communication. Another technique is to see ourselves as transparent when we notice negativity arising within us or from someone else, so that that particular energy can go right through without hitting a wall or any resistance. And in that way, we can observe thoughts and ideas without allowing them to lodge themselves within our ego's identity. So finally, Ernest Holmes has this wonderful meditation at the end of the book, Living the Science of Mind, which I really enjoy. He said, realizing that I am one with all people, I affirm there is a silent power running through me and them that heals and prospers. And knowing that the world is made up of people like myself, I bless the world and affirm that it shall come into divine good, divine love, and divine leadership of the supreme intelligence. And so it is. So, thank you. Thank you. Actually, we're going to have a congregational song next, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. Okay, so Reverend Mary is coming.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
Well, thank you, Reverend Mary. And guess what? Reverend Mary is also our speaker today. So, our favorite Reverend Mary, thank you so much for speaking.
And let me introduce Billy, our roadie. Thank you. Oops. Thank you. That's perfect. Right there. I figured I'd have all my little notes out here rather than being behind the bushes here in the podium. Is that okay? All right. And we have movie star lights on today, don't we? I love this. You know, our house lights they're in repair, so we're knowing that. So how's everybody doing? Welcome today. It's so good to see real live bodies. And to those of you viewing out there in TV land or YouTube land, we welcome you and thank you for being here. Today my talk is I'm a Believer. And where I got that title originally was, where do you think? Monkeys. Monkeys, yes, it was playing on the radio. I'm like, God, I need a talk title. What am I going to do? And like Dr. Seuss said, never let the talk title get in the way of what you're going to say. So I said, oh, the monkeys are playing. I'm a believer. Had to get that out there. So before we begin, let's think about believing for a second. So there's a group of guys and they're barbecuing outside in one of the guys' yards. And they're barbecuing fish. They're Catholic. It was back when Catholics had to eat fish on Fridays. So they're grilling their fish, a little disappointed, but they're grilling their fish, and they smell these wafts of steak coming through the air. And they're like, oh my God, who is that? And they look over and they see their neighbor Jim. And Jim is grilling this steak and humming, and he's having a good old time. And they said, you know what, we got to save him. So they go over and they go, Jim, you know what? You are compromising your very soul by eating meat on Fridays. So come with us to the church, and we are going to have the priest talk to you, become a Catholic with us, because he was a Protestant. So they take him to the Catholic priest, and the Catholic priest talks to him, and they counsel and all this stuff, and then he says, okay, you were born a Protestant, you lived as a Protestant, and now you're a Catholic. So he says, great. So next Friday comes along, the guys are in the backyard again, and they smell steak again. And they're like, oh my Lordy, what's going on here? They peek over the fence, and there's Jim, and he's going, you were a cow, you lived as a cow, and now you're a fish. And the moral of that story is, you know, beliefs aren't just something we try on. Right? Beliefs are something that actually happen. In the dictionary, it says, belief is an acceptance of a statement that is true or some condition that actually exists, or it's a state of mind or a state of habit in which we trust and have confidence in that it is in that person or that thing. So I did not know this, but there are 4 types of belief. Ready? First one is meta. And meta is the beliefs about belief systems. So you have different dissections of different beliefs, belief systems. The next one is perceptions, and that is how I see the world through my own perception. The next one is opinion, and we know about opinions, but opinions are my belief of how I have interpreted something, right? And then the final one is prediction, saying that I'm going to use my belief now, and I'm going to take that belief to make a judgment about how I think things are probably going to go, right? Well, this teaching, religious science, is based on metaphysics. It's beyond the physical. It says right here that it explores the immutable laws of the creative intelligence. The immutable, which means unchangeable, laws of the intelligence of God, the creation of the universe. So today, we're going to talk about perception, okay? Because I think that's the one where when we get our perception in line of how we think about things, that will actually dictate how our life is going to go. You with me on that? So now you can believe that there's a pool in your backyard, and maybe there is a pool in your backyard, but if you can believe there's a pool in your backyard, you can hear the splashing of the water, you can probably smell the chlorine, you can hear kids laughing and giggling, but faith says jump in the pool, right? So faith and belief, for this intents and purposes, is going to be dovetailed together. So it's about the faith that belief is the foundation for all success in life. Belief is the foundation for our success in life. Now, what does that mean? In religious science, probably one of the biggest struggles folks have in terms of prayer is having confidence in it, having belief that whatever it is that I'm stating is actually going to come into fruition, right? We've seen other people manifest things, or we know other people that have very, very strong faith, but sometimes our faith may be waning if things aren't going the way that we want to, right? So this teaching tells us, rethink what it is you believe and re-examine it. We are dealing with a universal intelligence whose laws are learned through observation. So our belief gets established by what we know and also what we observe. If things aren't going our way, we'll have a tendency to believe, oh, things never work out, right? If things aren't going our way, we may say, oh, they work for the other guy, but they sure the heck don't work for me. And so this teaching says, wait a second, there is a law of harmony, and it is the cornerstone of this teaching, that if you want the universe to cooperate with you, you have to cooperate with the universe, and that there are particular laws that happen that actually we put into action through our thought. So the things that show up in our life are actually our thoughts. I know that, we have that beautiful saying here, thoughts are things, and our thoughts are prayers, our song. But the deal is that whatever we're creating in our experience, we take it back, trace it back to what you were thinking. And that thinking will create the thing that we desire. Now that sounds great, right? But half of us can't even figure out what we want for dinner. Right? So you go, what do I believe? I don't know. You couldn't figure out what clothes to wear, or what am I going to say to this person, or whatever. We have a hard time really following through sometimes with what it is we believe. And how do we change that? By getting in touch with God within us, the God within us. We heard last week about through Monica saying, the golden rule and the silver rule of knowing, what is it that I need to review? What am I treating others like I'm treating myself? Am I observing those things? We heard about hindrances that hold us back. And some of the things that hold us back is not taking the time to take the time for ourselves, to actually invest in ourselves and think. So the secret to healing is the unification with this cosmic intelligence. It has infinite knowledge as the way to heal us outside of ourselves. So it's that beautiful, I of myself do nothing. It's the mind of God that works through. And you know what? God has a way of healing everything. So when we say, let go and let God, people go, how do I do that? By letting go, by just getting still and getting quiet. So first, understanding that we never manifest what it is that we want. We are manifesting what it is we believe. We are manifesting what it is we believe. So if you don't like what's showing up, go back and say, now what is it I believe about that? And you may have all evidence in front of you that says, oh, this isn't going to work out, or whatever. But you've got a secret weapon, and your secret weapon is God. Your secret weapon is knowing, you know what? It's not just God and I are one. It is the power that I am using, is the power of God that I am literally channeling through whatever situation. I bet there's every single person in this room has had some circumstance that you've experienced that seemed impossible, which, by the way, another interpretation of the word impossible, I'm possible. Take that impossible out of your vocabulary and say, I'm possible. But I'm sure all of us have encountered something that felt like it was so impossible. But guess what? It worked out, didn't it? Think about some time when you were really fearful or worried and you didn't, it just seemed like the end of the world and everything was going to hell in a handbasket. What were you going to do? Well, guess what? You're here, aren't you? You made it through. I don't know how you made it through, but it's important that you know how you made it through, because when you look at that, you go, aha. There was something that was working in my favor, right? And what that was that power of God. And if you're saying, no, this is never going to work out, guess what? You've just closed the door to God. So what you want to do is you want to open that door to God and say, all right, I don't know the answer, but God doesn't need to know the answer. God can figure stuff out way more than we can, because you're not alone. You're not alone in this at all, although we may think we are. So how we do it is we pay attention to how we're feeling. How do we shift our belief? Pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention to the things that are showing up in your life. Are you living, remember, we're always wanting to be a vibrational match for the thing that we desire. What the heck does that mean? It means that we are all energy. And as you lift your energy, take your mind away from whatever's troubling you and say, okay, I'm going to put myself in this plane of I don't know what the heck's going on, but I'm going to trust. And you just get in that spot and breathe. Just be calm for a minute and acknowledge that right here, right in this very moment, all is well. Right in this very moment, all is well. And then you take the next step. In this very moment, all is well. There is a story about Itzhak Perlman. Are you familiar with Itzhak Perlman, the violinist? Genius violinist. And it was about a concert that he did in 1995 at Lincoln City in New York. And he is a concert violinist, but he was also diagnosed with polio at a very young age. It didn't stop him from becoming a virtuoso. So here at this concert, he walks all the way across the stage. Now he's got braces on his legs and he's got crutches. And he's carrying his violin. And he walks across the stage, and he sits down, and everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. He sits down, he puts the crutches down, he takes the braces off his legs, he positions one leg in front of the other, he picks up the violin, and he begins to play. But about 5 bars into the concert, they hear this snap. And everybody gasps like, oh my gosh, you know what that means? He broke a string. And they're all, is he going to have to walk across the stage and put the braces on and go over? Are they going to bring out a violin to him? Are they going to restring the violin? What are they going to do? You know what he does? He closes his eyes. He picks up the bow and he signals the conductor to begin again. And he plays the entire concert with 3 strings. Now, anybody that's a violin player, which I am not, we could ask Andy, but anyone that's a violin player will know you can't play a symphony with 3 strings, but he did. And what he did was he retuned and detuned, and they said that he played with more passion and more intensity and more amazingness than they'd ever seen in any of his other concerts. So he finishes and stops, and everybody's silent because they're like, we just can't believe what we just witnessed. And then all of a sudden there's this uproar of the crowd just going nuts, saying this guy's amazing. And they're applauding and they're going crazy. And he puts his bow up. And he says, now hold on a second. Sometimes it's the task of the artist to figure out how much music you can make with what you have. How much music you can make with what you have. He did not believe in the impossibility of playing with 3 strings. He was set on playing that concert, and he knew he could do it, so he did. Think about that for a second. Think about the inspiration of what that means to you and I. If someone can do that, and I'm sure you've got people in your life, you have examples of folks that have done things that have been so miraculous, you think, how did the heck did they do that? I shared a couple weeks ago, there's a billboard when you get off the 110 freeway, and it says, "It's time to raise your game." Now, it's an ad for gambling, but we know in religious science what it really means. It means it's time to raise your game. It was like, thank you, universe. That was a beautiful reminder. It's like, hey, guess what? We get to declare whatever it is we want, but the universe cannot show up for us if we're not believing it. So we have to put out that welcome mat, right? We have to say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next thing. And you know, sometimes we wax and wane, don't we? We believe, we don't believe. We believe, we don't believe. And then what do you get? You get it, you don't get it. You get it, you don't. And you're like, why isn't anything ever consistent? I wonder, are you being consistent? So the universe asks us, be consistent. Know what it is that you believe and think about what it is you want. You know, Wayne Dyer, he told us that we have it backwards. It is not seeing is believing, it's believing is seeing. So what does that mean? Because somebody can say, you know, I can believe I can fly and I'm not going to jump off a building and think gravity isn't going to affect me. But the deal is that what you want to create in your experience, you have to believe that it's possible, even though it looks impossible. So what you can say is, I of myself do nothing. There's a God that moves through me that knows how to create, pardon me, exactly what it is that I desire. So most would believe that you could never play that symphonic piece, but he did it. Life, I love this quote, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Now think about that. We may go, okay, all my ducks are in a row. I got the job of the century, I got a great relationship, but gee, my finances stink or whatever. We're kind of critical about it. How about coming from a sense of the greatest prayer is always gratefulness. I am so thankful and grateful and blessed to have these wonderful things showing up in my life. Because guess what? What we bless expands, doesn't it? What we think about expands, but what we bless expands because we're acknowledging thank you. And the universe says, aha, I support you. And if you want more of that, I will bring it to you because your thinking is supporting it. So what's true of God is true of you and me. What's true of God is true of you and me. That's one of the main principles of religious science. And so you say, well, wait a second. You know, Jesus had said this and more things that you can do because Jesus had an idea that God and man were inseparable, that God was not divided into a whole bunch of billions of people. God is just one, and it's that one mind. So when we come from the place that there's one mind, and that we are a part of that mind, and that mind is the mind that we use, that's God moving through us. And the moment that we start to acknowledge it more, and even acknowledge it in other people, you know, you could say, oh, even if somebody you don't like or somebody you're having a disagreement with, you could say, isn't it interesting how God's operating through that person? And you can shift it into something good, right? Because the moment you get out of that lower thinking and raise that vibration to higher, everything changes. Everything begins to change. Okay, that's why it's important to create the juiciest picture for life that you want. How many of you spend time just thinking about what would the ideal life look like? I was thinking about that. I look through magazines a lot, and I thought, oh, gosh, look at, there's that dining room set. Oh, look at that, looks like, you know, we give pictures to our mind of what to create. I know we used to do vision boards. There used to be a gal here, and we would do vision boards. Vision boards are very, very instrumental. Why is that? Because they give us a visual picture of something that it is that we want to create, right? So the more intense and vivid and juicy you can produce for the universe to create something, what it is that you desire, the universe has a boilerplate. It has a blueprint to go through. And it says, oh, okay, I can create this for you. You know, in the Lord's Prayer, there's a saying that says, give us our daily bread. And our daily bread is what we're expecting. So what is your daily bread? What is your daily bread? Do you wake up in the morning, clear your thoughts, wake up and say, God bless you, universe, thank you. Use me, God, as your conduit for goodness, for light, and let me bring light to the world and shine it all around. Are you doing that? Are you waking up in the morning and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you for all the things that are happening, and taking your mind off the things that aren't working? It means that we have to give up our story, doesn't it? It means we have to give up our story. And people go, oh no, I've worked long and hard to develop that story. And believe me, there's a lot of people that go, oh, the stories I could tell you about the job that didn't work, or the boss, or the relationship, or the broken down car, or whatever it is. People can go on and on and on with the things that don't work. And you got to go, let's shift here into what does work. Because what happens when you do that? It changes the whole energy of things. And then the universe says, okay, here's a serious player right here. They're knowing what it is that they want. They're knowing what it is they want to create. Think about a seed. You know, any little seed. I planted some tomato seeds. They didn't quite work out this year. But at any rate, think about some seeds. And the seed has within it the full potential to become the apple tree or the pine tree or whatever it is. It has all of the potential in that seed. It doesn't go back and go, oh God, I wanted blue seeds, not purple. You know, it doesn't do that. It's all made right there. It's all right there. It has all of its potential. We're that seed. We are that seed that was born with this amazing potential. But guess what? We have to discover it within. And when we discover it within, that's how it comes into fruition. I am getting the light. There's the light. There's the light. Oh, I'm getting the message. There we go. I'm getting the message. So if we cultivate right thoughts and good visions, that will create for us those experiences. I read this beautiful quote. It should be everyone's goal to be unsinkable, to come through any difficulty and feel empowered, to believe that you have it and that it's already done. Remember, it's done unto you as you believe. The moment that you believe in the truth of who you are, in the power of God moving through you to produce for you what it is that you desire, everything shifts. We're not doing this on our own. We are doing this together in a oneness, in a united mind with God. And that's today's message. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Coming up. He's playing I'm a Believer. Yes, we're ready to go. And now I'm going to welcome up Catherine, and she is going to share our offertory and our mission statement.
Let us thank again Reverend Mary for that wonderful talk. I'm a believer, and we all are. Thank you, Reverend Mary. Our mission statement at this center is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the life of all we serve. And we do get messages from our members that help us discover how we are doing that. And this is one, and it's a poignant one. I have asked for prayers for quite a while. I have a difficult medical condition, but I find that I am at more peace right now with all that's still going on. I have to say that surprised me. I believe now that I will heal more quickly with less anxiety and more peace. I thank the prayer team for their words for me. I think that's wonderful. Thank you. The ushers are coming forward, and we are going to do the prayer for our offering, and I believe it's going to be right up here on the wall for us to share. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is.
Yeah. Thank you, Reverend Mary. Amazing. This is called Train of Glory. There we go. I know, we've been through so much. I know, you think it's been tough, but we were made to shine like warriors. We were made of stars and magic stuff. Woo! Let's climb up on the train of glory. Nothing's gonna stop this train. Let's climb up on the train of glory. Everybody knows your name. Create a train of gratitude and know that grateful vibes will free your heart and soul. Get up, get out of that haze. Take a look around. Here's a brand new day. Woo! We're riding on the train of glory. Nothing's gonna stop this train. Riding on the train of glory, where everybody knows your name. It's up to you. It's in your attitude. You can make a change, or you can stay the same. It's up to you. It's in your attitude. You can choose to fly, or just walk on by. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. We're riding on the train of glory. Now nothing's gonna stop this train. We're riding on the train of glory, where everybody knows your name. It's up to you. It's in your attitude. You could make a change, or you can stay the same. It's up to you. It's in your attitude. You could choose to fly, or just walk on by. It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. Let's climb up on the train of glory. Nothing's gonna stop this train. We're riding on a train of glory, where everybody knows your name. Ooh, ooh. Come on in, climb up on the train of glory. Now nothing's gonna stop this train. We're riding on a train of glory, where everybody knows your name. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. And I apologize because I mispronounced her name earlier. It's Andrea. And you know, there are Andreas, there are Andreas, and then there are Andreas. And this is she. And thank you for your music today. Before we go into the blessing, I just wanted to thank you for many of the messages that I've been receiving of support. Some of you may or may not know, last Sunday we announced that the board had decided that I would step in as interim senior minister of Redondo. And as that, thank you, I really appreciate that. But there's two things about it. Number one, it is interim. I expect, and I know we all expect, as the doctors say, that she is making a full and complete recovery. And she has our prayerful support toward that end. But what is also true is that I am acting as the senior minister, and I intend to do that job to the best of my ability. We will have things happening over the next few months, as long as it takes, so that when Dr. Moira comes back, she just simply steps into the thriving center that we are being and making it easy for her. And that's what I want to do. And I thank you. I thank you very much. And I will also tell you that I do not talk directly with Dr. Moira. I don't have conversations with her. Her care team keeps that very private and close. But she did send me a message that I will share. Thank you for all you're doing to keep church up and running in a wonderful way. And that's what we're all doing. So thank you so, so much. It means a lot. So let us come together at our blessing. And as we say these words, please think of them as you're saying them. And let them not be the rote words that you may have said before, but let them come from that well within you that is absolutely the one power Mary spoke of, from the one mind, that we're speaking into that mind as we say, I know divine love enfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life in expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God. There is only God. And so it is. So let us stand as we share the peace song.